Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, Sunday. How are you today? We are hanging out. We're drinking our drinks, and we're starting off with a little Bridgerton show talk. So
Names.
So what's your Bridgerton name? You have to take your middle name and the last thing you drank and some part of your address, and you mush it all together and you get your Bridgerton name. So I am Lady Cecilia Winerton of the Shire.
Did you say Winerton?
Oh, I think you were Winerton. I'm Wineton. I'm sorry, because the last thing I drank was wine. But I'm drinking tequila right now. But when I did my name, had been drinking wine. So Lady Cecilia Wineton of the Shire. Savvy, who are you?
You almost sound like a wino when you say that, like Winerton.
Well, I'm Lady Anne Winerton of Conshire.
My lady.
Nice to meet you, my lady.
Erin,
Lady Nicole.
what's your Bridgerton name?
Lady Nicole Chiton Shire.
Shire
I like
sounds
Lady
very.
Nicole
Shire
nice.
sounds like a very affluental family. Am I saying that?
Yeah.
Affluent?
I need to look them up.
See, I've had too much to drink. Maybe I should take my drinking name and change it from water to something else.
See, this is the thing with Sunday nights. We've all just had a few of something.
Usually.
Few of something.
All right, Scoopalicious, what's your Bridgerton name?
Mine is Lady Denise Waterton of Bradshire.
Very nice. Waterton.
I
don't buy that.
Waterton.
Yeah, right.
Is that really your last drink?
Actually, my last drink now is a Sprite, and I don't drink pop normally. I don't drink any kind of, I typically don't, but I had some for my son. So I was like, let me indulge.
Pop. Okay,
Soda
living
pop.
in the South. Pop. That's funny.
All right, Lena.
I've always said pop.
Yeah? You've always said pop?
I've always said pop.
Not soda, huh?
It's always been pop to me.
I think if you're from the South, it's a Coke. Whatever it is, it's a Coke. Even if it's a Sprite,
whether
it's
it's
a Coke.
bubbly brown or bubbly clear, it's a Coke.
I'll ask
I
next
think you're
time I'm
right.
there.
I think you're right.
Maybe it's a Texas thing. All right, Lena, what's your Bridgerton name?
Lady Alejandra Mango Smoothieton from
Of
Marshall Shire.
Are you sure that's the last thing you had was a mango?
That was this morning.
That
was this morning. I don't know, but it gave me churros like nobody's business. So it was definitely a lot of mango. Sorry. Can we edit that?
We'll edit that.
No, that's funny.
I want to know about our
I had to take
churros.
Ari to Quince practice this morning with all his friends and all the moms. And I was like holding my stomach. I'm like, where's the closest bathroom? That is way too much mango. Cannot do the mango smoothie again.
But, Story of my life. That's every morning.
It's so hard not having a gallbladder. But right now, I guess my name would be Lady Alejandra Tequila on the Rockston.
Notice the two sisters here. The two sisters are drinking tequila.
Is where it's at for them.
You forgot the location.
The two Chileans. The two Chileans.
You know what might sound better if I just say what type of tequila, like Lady Alejandra Reposadotin. Ooh.
You love
like
reposado.
Reposadotin.
Love it.
Very nice. Yeah.
We're ladies. That's why we have our
we
pinkies up,
are.
because we're ladies.
Lady.
That's right.
All right. So now that we know, now that you know our lady names, let's get on to the topic of today's conversation. Lady Denise.
Yes.
Would you like to introduce the topic for this evening?
Thank you, Lady Cecilia. All right. So I was on social media and I heard this theory called the four-burner theory. And I'm just going to read it to you so I'm very clear on what this is. The four-burner theory is a life philosophy that suggests your life is like a stove with four burners. And I would like for you to picture a gas stove. Each burner represents a major area of your life: health, family, friends, and work. The idea is simple but powerful. To be truly successful, you often have to turn off one burner. To be extremely successful, you may have to turn off two. So I wanted to ask you ladies, which burner did you turn off or have you turned off? And of course, probably different times in your life. Where are you sitting at right now? Or do you think that all 4 burners are running at lower capacity? So we have the health, family, friends, and work. I
That's
can
what I
go
was going to
first if you
ask. Like,
want.
do we identify our burners ourselves, or is there a set identity to
Those are
each
the
burner?
burners.
So what
It's
are they?
health. Like you either have to maybe you have to turn the burner down for health so you can focus on family, friends, and work. Or you have to turn the burner off on work to
Family,
focus on
friends,
health,
work.
family, and friends.
So the 4 burners are health, family, friends,
Work.
work. Okay.
So I will tell you, for me, because of my current, location, living situation and stuff, it has been, I kind of feel like at this particular moment, my 2 burners that are running lower are family and friends.
Really?
So, just because, when you're distance away from family and you're distance away from friends, you're not like, I'm not always reaching out to you ladies. Let's go have lunch. Let's go have dinner. So my health and my work. And when I say my work, I'm saying what I'm building right now, not my current everyday job. What I'm building right now is what is taking up one of my major burner is on high. It's on high. I'm really focused on what I want to do because of the other things. I'm able to turn family and friends down. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm going to put family back on there because I have my son with me now. And so I am focused on him and his peace. And I asked him the other day, I said, do you feel safe here? And he said, yes. And that was very important to know and to hear. So my 3 burners that are on right now are health, family, work, and that's it. Just those 3.
So all 3 are on right now.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think what I hear in this theory is that, we have this idea that we can have it all, right? But maybe this theory is kind of the opposite of that. Like, yes, you can have it all, but maybe not all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
successfully.
even successfully, right? So even with 3 burners, one of them, I mean, you're probably simmering on some of them, and you're like medium
Absolutely.
heat on the other, and
Absolutely.
full boil on another.
Yeah, they have different temperatures. I like that.
Yeah. If one of you were to call and be like, I'm in the hospital, or you guys had a major life crisis, well, that friends burner goes up, right? And then what do I pull back from? Well, I'll probably take time off of work. So work is going to go down to make sure that I'm there, because if something were to happen in our lives that were needed, I'm taking a week off if I have to, a couple weeks off if I have to. And I think it's just a matter of figuring out what you can do and what you're willing to turn down in order to succeed in the other areas.
So I guess what comes to my mind when we're talking about turning things down is, how do you, like, if you have to turn friendships down, like, how do you navigate that with your friends? How do you communicate that I'm having to put you on the back burner because, my front burners are focused on XYZ?
Well, you just said it, Paula. You communicate it. That's how you handle
But how do you
that.
maintain the burn? Maybe you start a podcast with your friends on Sunday night.
This is a really hard one, because the way you just phrased that, put your friends on a back burner, like, I talk to you guys all the time. Like, it's not. So when I say my friends is on the burner that's on low or even off, I guess that's really not even true, because
This is
I have
natural. It
I
doesn't
have
feel like a
conversation.
chore.
Maybe you guys are not in the friends category. Maybe you're in my family burner. And my friends category are those that are just friends. I have friends, but you guys are more than just friends to me. So maybe you're in my family burner because you call, I answer. I reach out, and yeah, you guys are in my family.
Well, there usually isn't something going on in our lives that we haven't shared with each other. So it doesn't feel extra. It doesn't feel like it's time consuming, or like we have to have an explanation for what's going on with our lives, or we don't have to have an explanation for maybe being silent or missing a recording or not sending our Sunday Sundae, or like somebody in the group knows, okay, Caroline is going through a difficult weekend. she's probably not going to log on, but like everyone knows what's going on. So it doesn't feel like there's an energy source that is being burned into that part of our lives in that moment because there's just a mutual understanding. But I like what you said, Paula. Like, I can't think of it now. You said, well, like, how do you communicate that to your friend? Well, that's the ticket. It's just that it is being communicated, whether it's like directly to Aaron or to you, Paula, but like just it is known because within this nest, like we know what's going on with each other. And so it doesn't feel like it's emitting extra energy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
It does. So another thing that I guess comes to mind for me, especially with this whole idea of you can have it all or, multitasking, like I've never been a believer in multitasking. I really think that our brains are meant to just focus on one thing at a time in order to do it well. So I think if we're trying to keep all those burners going at the same time, inevitably we're going to burn out. We're not going to be able to sustain all of these areas of our life, our family, our friendships, our health, our work. So inevitably, I think if we're trying to do that, something's going to give, whether it's our health or whether it's a relationship or whether it's the marriage or whether it's, I think for a lot of women, it's our health. Our health definitely, I think, takes the back burner until it, smacks us in the face with, a sinus infection or a cyst or acne or perimenopause symptoms that just are blowing up. So how do we navigate that when we're trying to have it all at the same time and something drops? What does that look like? Like, how does that show up?
Well, I think there just has to be some kind of balance. And I'm not saying that you have to give up something else, but maybe you just have to choose when you put the other one on high, when you turn the other one down. Like maybe in this season, right now, my burner is on high for what I'm trying to build, and something else just, I will focus on a family crisis in a month or two or in 6 weeks when things have simmered down a little bit. So maybe that's the balance. It's not actual physical balance, but it's a balance in deciding when this needs to be addressed. And then I'll turn that burner up when it's time.
Yeah, the amount of energy that you're putting into it.
So I guess speaking for myself, like this is a struggle for me because I'm very much on team, have it all, do it perfect right now today. So this is hard for me to not have all the burners going. And so that when it falls apart, because it will, that shows up like really hard for me, like really like self-judgment, like critical, like that's when my self-talk can get like super ugly. Like, why can't you do it? You should be able to do it. Get up earlier, work harder, push more, do more, sleep when you're dead, kind of stuff. So I bet you I'm not the only one who feels like that.
Real quick, I want to say something because before I hear Savvy and Minu, I want to hear all you guys' thing, but something you just said, and you were talking about negative self-talk. I heard somewhere where you should name that negative talk so you can confront it. Like, Cecilia, get down and stop bothering me right now. Push that negativity away.
I think we even talked about something
We
like
may
that.
have.
Identifying it, yeah.
Yeah, we did. I think
Naming it.
you heard it from us.
Yes.
Probably. I'm over here watching our podcast. I try not to watch it beforehand except for that one on the 8th, but I know you guys are giving me some things to think about. Anyhow, what about you, Minu and Savvy Lena? Where are you guys on your burners?
First of all, thank you so much, Shannon, for actually sending what that is to me. It's actually a powerful way to look at life. And I feel balance to me is not about equal. It's about having the intention, How can you be more intentional in whichever burner you're working on? Sometimes it's impossible. Perfection, I feel, is a myth. It's impossible to keep all your burners on and making sure, you're balancing it. It's impossible. You really need to know which burner you need to focus on and without forgetting the others exist. So it's
Oh.
about having the intentional setting that which area needs my attention right now, but making sure the others are still ignite. So it's
Oh.
a great theory, but in practical, are we able to balance it? I guess I can't. I struggle.
Maybe
Which one do you struggle with?
it's
The work-life balance, the work and
Mhm.
family. For me, when I call somebody my true friend, then they are family. Like you guys are my family here. Then you have some acquaintances and your social friends. That's different. But this is real. Sometimes the conversations I have with you, the questions that I ask you, the way I reach out and you guys support me, I don't think even my real family know what's going on in my day-to-day life the way you guys do. So, yeah, work, uh, managing work life at times is tough because I'm a nurturer and I want to be a mom first more than anything else. But I think that's one area where I struggle. I'm already a mother. This can wait. I need to work. I need to make money so that I can give them the lifestyle. But they are growing fast, so I struggle constantly. I honestly had a choice. I just wanted to be a wife, a homemaker. Work was never something that I thought I would do or take it
Mhm.
this seriously. For me, work was like, oh, I just want to have some side money to have fun. Little did I know that the life, the way it would change for me, I'll be the bread earner and I'll be taking care of both my children. So it's hard. It's hard to, first of all, shut the negative self talk or the voice that's constantly being extremely critical and then balancing it. So it's hard. That's where I struggle. What about you, Savvy?
Well, for me, work is off right now. I've turned that burner off. It needs to be off. My family tend to they're bubbling over. Like they're a high rapid fire right now. My friends, you guys, I feel like you guys are at a nice, good simmer. One where it's not burning, one where it's not, it's just wonderful where it's at right now. But my health is also on the back burner. My health is back there with my work, the both of those, because the family seems to take more precedence over everything. And I personally don't know how to balance any of that. Especially if my children call me, I drop everything for them. My mom, and I drop things for her, like it's just a very busy time. And, I care for my uncles. So those things are definitely rapid burning for me. The eye is hot.
I have a question for you, Savvy.
Mm.
Have you been practicing your saxophone?
No, she didn't go there.
This is self-care real quick. I'm just curious because you're talking about things that are boiling over.
Yeah.
And it's
Baby,
interesting that
no.
there's not a middle burner, and that's us.
Mm.
That middle burner where you can make
Mhm.
pancakes and toast bread.
Keep things
Where-
warm.
Right. Where's the
Toast bread?
Where's the self-care? Bagels,
How do you toast bread in that middle burner? Explain it. What?
butter it, and turn it on high.
Isn't that called a griddle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't.
It is a
Okay.
griddle.
Okay.
No, I don't have a
Mm.
griddle, but I have the actual oblong burner in the middle. I don't know what to use it for. I don't know what to put
Is
on
it
top of
flat?
that. It's like an oval.
Oh, well, yeah, I have it. Never used it.
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to put on
You
top.
guys are being so like, this is supposed to be a metaphor, girl.
I know. All right, let's get back on. I'm sorry.
True, Lena, but our priorities shift.
Because now I've got 5 burners, not just 4
Yeah.
burners.
Well, it's interesting because I was going to say I wish there were 5 burners because, okay, so you have your friends, you have your family, you have your health, and you have your work or your employment or your means of making these other things happen in your life, your money, your source of income. And I'm with you, Minu. Like I never wanted a career. I didn't want to go to college to be something. I've just always wanted to be someone. I've always just wanted
Yes.
to be me. I've always just wanted to be a wife and a mother and a daughter and a sister and a companion and like a source of love, life, beauty, strength. Like that's always been my longing. Like I want to be your person,
Yes.
like that's just me. So for me, that burner is almost like it's never ignited. It's just kind of there. Like it's a have to. It's not like a source of like my life. It's just something that I have to do to maintain, paying the mortgage or feeding the dogs or the kids or, my mascara habit, whatever it can be, Like, can you guys believe mascara is like $15 now, by the way?
Expensive.
Anyway, it's crazy. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like there should be 5 burners because where does faith fall into that? Like, I guess faith could be health because I do feel like I try to be on top of like my spiritual health. Like I definitely have like lighters and matches like in my back pocket and like in my utility drawer. Like I don't want that burner to ever go out because if it does, I have to ignite it. I have to find a way to fire it up, because that needs to be like the flame on my burner. But sometimes when that's weak, that's when everything else is weak. And as far as, family and friends, I feel like you girls too, family and friends, it all kind of lines up into one because if I want to share something with a friend, I want to share it with my family. If I want to share something with my family, I want to share it with my friends and, birthdays, holidays, hardships. Like tonight, Aaron and I, my husband and I had so many things on the plate, so many things that we wanted to accomplish today on Sunday. And my parents call up and they're like, hey, we're going to be leaving town on Thursday. Let's get together for dinner. And we dropped everything. We're like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go meet up for dinner. And we met early and I was like, okay, this will be like 2 hours. I'll be home and plenty of time to record. And here we are, 2.5 hours. And I didn't want to cut it short, because it's family time. Like you want to always keep that simmering. Like you said, Savvy, like there's things that we always want to keep simmering. I don't want anything like on the back burner. And if something does go on the back burner, it's usually work, and I know that I could be like, I don't know, have a career and have like more energy put into this source that is making me money. But I just don't know that I've ever really wanted that. What really keeps me going every day is definitely my family and my faith. And, praise God, we've been able to navigate that, with 4 kids and good friends and good family and supportive parents. It's a blessing. But yeah, I think there should be 5 burners. 5.
We're going to have to rewrite the theory then.
Why not?
What about you, Aaron? How are your burners running?
It's interesting. This whole thing is very interesting to me because I think that I've been challenged in keeping the balance between the burners throughout the course of my adult life. I had a pretty demanding career for a long time, and um, I always felt stretched, in between like when I felt like my focus was really great on my family and the balance was there, then like work felt like it was out of balance and I was being pulled there. So I always felt like this kind of tug of war. And um, I've definitely experienced burnout, where all the burners just kind of go off, and had to really go inward and start just focusing on taking care of myself and thinking about what is it that I really do want. So I think for me, I've had to really evaluate what does success mean to me. Because for a long time, I think that societal influences, different influences in my life gave me a perspective on what I thought I wanted didn't really make me happy or feel satisfied. I just always felt stretched all the time. So I've had to really think about what is success to me, and really what that is having a strong family, a strong relationships about people with the people that I love and care about, and that love me and care about me, keeping my family close and nurturing those relationships and my friends. Those are the things that matter the most, and being able to enjoy that and not feel like there's something pulling me away from that. So I've really kind of stepped away from the things that were monetary, although it does get stressful, because the reality is like we do have to take care of responsibilities and figure out that balance. But I really do feel like finding what are your gifts and talents? What are you meant put back into the world, what brings you joy and what brings others joy, and utilizing those. And so that's kind of the place I've been sitting in after burning out, all my burners going out. And um, yeah, my health suffered, and, I've had to really, examine a lot of those things and think about it. But I don't know, this idea of like you can have it all, like, I don't know. I used to be so excited about that. I'm like, yeah, like I'm super empowered and I can do it all and have it all, and like totally like fizzled out, because it's like it was too much, So just my perspective on it and how I was doing it. So I think for me, I've been looking at it through a different lens of, what brings me joy and what am I here to do, on this planet? What am I here to give back? And what kind of gifts was I given to do that? That's kind of where my focus has been. So I don't know. I looked at, the examples that were given of what success was, in this theory, and I was like, yeah, that doesn't resonate with me, like what that those successful people look like. Because who was it? Was it like Jeff
It looks
Bezos
lonely.
and Elon Musk, and just like people that they they're not happy in their personal lives. They're super wealthy with money and power, and and this sounds really judgmental, but like, yeah, that's not what I'm after. I just want real relationships, feel fulfilled. I want my family to be happy and thriving, and I want to feel like I'm at the heart of that, providing a space and being a nurturer there to help them do that, and not feeling so um, unfulfilled myself because I'm not able to be present for that, to do that. So that's kind of where I've shifted, my focus a lot for me.
Yeah.
And
I think
it makes me a lot happier,
also,
I just want to say, like, it makes me a lot happier to see them happy, when I'm more present. So anyway, go ahead, Jan.
no, I think you're so spot on with that. Since my son has been here, like he'll creep in when I'm working and he'll be like, "Are you working today? Are you off right now? Or you want to come sit outside with me?" Really wanting that attention and really needing that attention because he hasn't had it in so long. And so that's why that flame is very important to me right now. And I'm really glad that I'm not in a relationship because I can put all that effort that I did put in my previous relationship, all that effort gets divvied up to other things. And so I have to say, because I told him today that I was glad that I wasn't dating anybody and I don't want to date anybody. So that way I can stay focused on the other things that are important to me, like what I'm trying to build and him and us getting on the right track together.
I love that. I love that for you, Shannon. I think it's really important.
Thank you.
Just,
It's
taking our parenting, our motherhood, our love for our children. That doesn't ever go away, no matter how old they are.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Heavy, right?
I love you.
Lady Anne.
Sure, Lady
Lady Anne.
Denise.
Lady Ann.
Lady Anne Weinerton.
Sure, Lady Denise. I'm here with you. No, family has always been number one for me. And they've just always been on that first burner that's burning hot. That's just what they've always been. But it burns hotter now because the fire is just hot. Like it's hot. There's a lot going on. And so, I mean, if you guys know that, my son just had a new grandbaby who is chubby and so adorable, but a handful. And so it's just really, it's busy time right now. So they require a lot from me. Even though I feel exhausted for the most part, I love giving myself to them because I too really didn't think about a career in life. That wasn't my goal. My goal was because I was a young mom. So my goal was really nurturing my children and trying to keep them safe. And so it's always been that way because I'm a helicopter parent.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm a helicopter parent.
I was too till somebody brought it to my attention and not in a good way. I was like, oh.
Well, I don't know what's the best way to parent. Helicopter parents, they love hard. They cover. They see things like I'm reminded there was this video of a mother bear and a baby bear, and the mother bear came flying down the mountain, come flying down out of nowhere, throws the baby bear up, and the baby bear has no idea what the heck is going on, but what's about to happen is an avalanche. Only a helicopter parent would notice something like that, like because they're always watching, they're always looking over to make sure everything's okay. And so that's what I am. But that's why my pot boils over.
Sorry.
Spring and winter, here we are.
I know, 70 degrees in beginning of April.
Unbelievable. And next weekend's daylight savings. What in the world? It's
You know what?
already
I did
daylight savings on
notice.
the 8th.
Spring
Yeah,
is
I was
coming.
outside still, but there's no global warming. But anyway, I was just wondering, like, if any of you ever felt like, if you ever like had to turn down a burner for whatever reason, or you chose to turn that down, like, did you ever come across a time where you felt like, or you realized that that burner had been on low for like way too long?
Yes.
And what was it?
Right now. That'd be work, my work burner.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I put that one way on the back burner, turned that one really, 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 really on low. Like it's
Yeah.
barely hot. And I think I put it there for too long.
And what's the consequence of that? Is there a consequence?
Well, there is, because then, like health wise and mentally wise, like there's a lot of things. You might get complacent, you might just get stuck, you just not doing what you need to do. And so you get bored, your brain is not, active enough, those kinds of things. But those are the only consequences I can think of for myself. But I think
Right.
that definitely work was one that I put back there and turned that bad boy on low.
All right.
Mine is work too. There was a time when, I was a stay-at-home mom and Aaron was working. And there was a time when he wanted to go back to school. And had I kind of stepped up and gotten a job, which I definitely was capable of doing, and helped more with the financial piece of our family puzzle at that time and supported him more in that decision and just made the money, I think maybe he would have a different career right now had I given him that space and that like security net to finish his degree. He wanted to get his master's and, I didn't step up for him in that moment. And had he done that, I think our lives would be a little bit different. At least financially, could have been a little different.
So does that creep up in the relationship now?
I don't know that it creeps up, but it's something that I think about. And I wonder if he thinks about, but it's something that we don't really talk about. I mean, the kids actually bring it up sometimes because when he was pursuing this, he was working at a company where he was traveling a lot and he would be gone, 2 weeks out of the month. He'd have to travel to New York. He'd have to travel to Florida. He'd have to travel to Chicago. He'd have to travel to different places. And my youngest daughter actually remembers that a lot. And she was like, yeah, I really don't like it when daddy's gone. And I always tell my kids, like there's very important decisions that have to be made when you get married, when you start having a family. Like a man really has to decide, okay, do I want to be a provider? Do I want to be a father? Because for men too, it's very difficult to have that balance of making the money and still being like the soccer coach, making the money and still being like super present for your wife and for your children. And for moms too, like when you start having babies, it's really challenging to have a career and still have that presence of being like a stay-at-home mom and making the lunches, making the breakfast, showing up for volunteer hours at school, going on the field trips, going to conferences, meeting the teachers, being a part of all of that. It's a decision that I feel like we all have to make when we decide to have a family. Like, am I going to choose my career and be a provider, or am I going to choose my family and be
A provider.
a parent?
Providing in two different ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scoopalicious, what's on your mind?
Oh, two things. Because one, you just reminded me of another video I sent you of the CEO, I think it was of Coke or Pepsi. I don't know if you guys watched that one, but she
think it
was
was
talking about
Pepsi.
she was talking about this exact same thing. You can't do it all. You can't do it all. But I remember when my kids were younger, I wanted to go to law school, and I always told myself, once my kids graduate high school, I'm going to go to law school, and because then I could dedicate the time. Because like parenting took up a lot of time. So I'm just wondering if now that, your third one is about to graduate, is it a topic or something you could say to your husband? Be like, you want to go get your master's? I'm ready now to support you, or however you want to word that. Is that something he would want to do now? Because, you have your third one done. You only have one
I
more
don't
in the
know.
house.
Like
Just,
we don't talk about it. Like we don't talk about it. It hasn't come up. Yeah. And I mean, there's been some job changes, for reasons out of our control. And no, it hasn't come up. I think it's just like a wondering that we both have, like a what if scenario
right.
in the back of the mind.
But does it have to be a what if? Because
I don't know.
something else you said earlier about being able to stay home with your kids or being able to put work on the back burner. And I was thinking as you said that, I can never do that. I've supported my kids by myself. I didn't have a partner to pick up that burner while I picked up the other burners.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, can I ever have that? But why not? I mean, it doesn't have to be a what if. My kids are grown now. And
Yeah.
as you guys know, I'm taking a trip to New York next weekend. I do a lot of traveling. I just go places and stay the night or whatever. I have that freedom now that I didn't have before because I was a single mom. I had to be at home. There was no one to babysit the kids. And now I can do those things. So now I'm not going to be 60 and be like, man, if only I had traveled more. If only I had gotten that master's degree. Because I can still do it.
Yeah.
But,
It might be worth mentioning. I mean, I don't know.
things change though, because I don't want to go to law school. I don't want to go to school anymore.
Yeah.
There's other things I want to do. So just
Priorities
the thought.
change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dreams change. Yeah.
I just know that we're not meant to do life alone. Like it takes a support system. We need someone in our nest. We need someone to cheer us on and support us and encourage us. I always say this, God did not create man and woman to live alone. We are supposed to be in community. We're supposed to have people in our corner. We're supposed to have somebody to lean on. Like we're not supposed to have it all. I truly believe that people that try to have that mindset of having it all are very lonely people.
What's considered having it all though?
Yeah, not having all the 4 burners burning and ignited and flamed all at once. I don't think it's possible. And if people that are doing it, I believe that they're lonely. But I mean, who am I? I don't know.
Just a mom of 4 kids and a wife.
Lady
Alejandra was the Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall Shire.
Tequilaton. We know what you're really drinking. All right.
Well,
Scoopalicious. I'm sorry, Minu, go ahead.
No, I just have one thing to say. I believe the purpose of this theory is to make sure that you can build the capacity to keep all your burners at least warm. It's impossible to keep them all high on a high flame at all times, but you need all of them to be at peace, right? So just to build a capacity and accept it and pay attention where it's required and let go some things on the back burner when you don't have the bandwidth and figure things out.
Good. Well, I think this has been a good conversation. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, Lady Denise?
No, Lady Cecilia. I think I've spoken quite enough this evening.
All right. Well, I think this was a good conversation. I think there's a lot of things for us and for our audience to think about. And I would just, I guess, leave you with this thought that if our life or your life is a stove, what's on high heat for you? Leave us a comment. What's on high heat for you right now? And what is quietly maybe simmering in the back? And when is the time for you to bring that forward? So leave us a comment, leave us a like, leave us a share, and have a wonderful week, and happy Sunday Sundae.